Fans of Jenny Han's beloved The Summer, I Turned Pretty trilogy are no strangers to adaptation changes. But Season 3 of the Prime Video series may have made its biggest misstep yet, and it's one readers are struggling to forgive. In Episode 3 of the latest season, a particularly emotional scene from the second book, It's Not Summer Without You, was completely omitted. This isn't just a minor deviation from the source material. It's a moment that shaped the emotional trajectory of the story and revealed crucial aspects of the characters' relationships. Its absence changes everything. The missing scene is a heart-wrenching phone call between Belly and Conrad that takes place after the death of Susanna, Conrad's mother and the emotional anchor of the series. In the novel, this quiet moment is a raw and vulnerable exchange between two people lost in grief and tangled emotions. It doesn't tie up loose ends or offer resolution, but that's exactly why it works. It's messy, painful, and deeply human. In the wake of Susanna's death, both Conrad and Belly are emotionally fractured. The phone call allows readers a glimpse into their shared pain and their continued, albeit complicated, connection. Conrad, who is often emotionally guarded, cracks open just a bit. Belly, unsure of how to move forward, hears the sadness in his voice. This scene doesn't promise reconciliation or rekindled romance. Instead, it provides something more powerful, acknowledgement, a recognition that their love, grief, and history still live in that silence between words. By cutting the scene, the show not only erases a deeply moving moment from the books, but also undermines the emotional growth of its two central characters. This isn't just about the shippers or team allegiances, Team Conrad or Team Jeremiah. It's about giving weight to the characters' individual journeys, especially Belly's. In the novels, that call serves as a pivotal point in Belly's emotional evolution. She begins to understand that grief doesn't follow a clear path, and that love isn't always enough to sustain a relationship, especially when people are drowning in their own sorrow. That lesson is subtle, painful, and essential to who she becomes. Without the phone call, Belly's development in the show feels thinner, as if something essential was bypassed. Even more concerning is how this change affects the tone and pacing of Season 3. The show appears eager to move forward, focusing on flashbacks, light romantic tension, and visual nostalgia, while skipping the emotional fallout that should naturally follow Susanna's death. The result is a narrative that feels disjointed, glossing over the depth and weight that define the novels. Viewers have taken to social media to express their frustration. On Reddit, book fans have launched lengthy discussions dissecting the implications of the missing scene. TikTok is flooded with edits of the book quote versions of the call, layer over fan clips, and sad music. One Twitter user summed it up poignantly. Cutting the Belly and Conrad phone call is like deleting the soul of the story. It's not just a scene, it's the scene. And they're not wrong. Every story needs a heartbeat, a moment that pulses beneath all the surface drama and holds the emotional center intact. For The Summer I Turned Pretty, this phone call was that heartbeat. It grounded the grief, the confusion, and the chaos of young love in something real. What makes the omission even more surprising is that the adaptation has otherwise been praised for staying emotionally faithful to the tone of Han's writing. Jenny Han, who serves as a showrunner on the series, has done a commendable job expanding certain storylines and fleshing out side characters. But with this decision, the show feels like it skipped over the emotional truth in favor of aesthetic momentum. Imagine what the scene could have looked like on screen. Belly, lying in bed with tears in her eyes, staring at her phone. Conrad on the other end, sitting alone in the dark, his voice barely above a whisper. The pauses, the missed words, the tension and love and loss suspended between them. It could have been one of the most hauntingly beautiful moments of the entire season, and a masterclass in quiet storytelling. Instead, we're left with a version of the story that feels like it's running too fast to pause and feel. That's not to say the show isn't still emotionally resonant in places. There are strong performances, meaningful looks, and painful misunderstandings. But without this particular scene, much of the underlying emotional architecture feels incomplete. Of course, adaptations always make changes. It's the nature of moving from page to screen. But some scenes transcend plot. They serve as emotional milestones. This was one of them. Could the show bring the moment back in a future episode? Possibly. A flashback, a dream, even a late-night message between Belly and Conrad. But timing matters. In the book, That phone call hits at the precise moment when both characters are too sad to say the right thing and too in love to say nothing. Recreating it later might miss the point. Ultimately, The Summer I Turned Pretty thrives because it understands the delicate nature of young love, grief, and growing up. The books captured that with aching precision. If the series wants to do the same, it must honor the silences, the missteps, and the scenes that break our hearts, even when they don't offer neat conclusions. Until then, fans will keep flipping back to those dog-eared pages, mourning what could have been,